From magically healing an almost career-ending leg injury after UFC 264, to the athlete surprisingly hanging out with pop stars like Kylie Minogue, here's how Conor McGregor just proved he's on PEDs. Yeah, Mystic Mac's recovery is raising eyebrows in the fighting world. Let's take a trip down memory lane. Remember when Conor almost destroyed his entire UFC career? The fighter locked horns with Dustin Poirier for a trilogy fight in July 2021 and crumpled his left leg with only seconds remaining in the first round. Yeah, it definitely wasn't McGregor's best day. The double champion hasn't graced an octagon in nearly 2 years. But good news for fans. McGregor's leg is all healed, but the timing isn't sitting right with a lot of people. Is it even possible to heal such a gruesome injury this quickly? I mean, a broken tibia and a broken fibula need a lot of time to heal. And this kind of injury has ruined careers before. So how is Conor walking around like he's never been hurt? Well, it looks like PEDs and steroids have something to do with it. Let's be real. There's no way Conor's ready to step into the octagon again this quickly without being on PEDs. If anyone knows a thing or two about healing injuries, it's fellow MMA fighters. And none of them are buying the fact that McGregor healed his leg all naturally. Take it from Anthony Smith, who's bothered by the Irishman's magical healing. Smith is pissed. The light heavyweight pointed out the fact that anyone who's broken their leg has taken a long time to recover. Yeah, longer than 2 years. Smith said on Michael Bisping's Believe You Me podcast, "It just bugs me that he gets to jump out of the pool, juice up, and then just jump back in the pool." The Nebraska native then went on and compared the notorious to former middleweight champion Chris Weidman. Weidman suffered an injury similar to McGregor at UFC 261 when he faced Uriah Hall in the cage. Now, it's worth mentioning that he broke his leg months before McGregor did, and according to Smith, he's still facing problems with the injured leg. I guess Conor can always hook him up with the PEDs he uses and speed up his progress too, right? Another thing Anthony drew attention to was McGregor's whole USADA fiasco. Think about it. Only someone who's been using PEDs would stay out of the drug testing pool for as long as possible. This one's definitely on Conor, because he's the one acting sus about the whole USADA situation. The Notorious himself proved he was taking PEDs. Someone's making rookie mistakes. He indirectly confirmed the use of steroids when he tweeted about his UFC status in November 2022. The athlete wrote, "I'm clear for drug testing in February. I will complete my 2 tests per USADA and we are booking a fight." Fans were quick to judge the athlete's choice of words. One wrote, "Sounds like you're trying to clear out whatever it is you have in your blood." Another went on about how McGregor got enough time to complete his PED cycle and clear it out of his system. There's no denying that Conor was on something. Many fans wanted him to get tested randomly when he tweeted that. Of course, that didn't happen. But if I were the athlete, I'd make smart choices when tweeting stuff like this. Because if it did one thing, it was striking a bell with the anti-doping agency. USADA is as strict as it is. And with all these accusations against Conor, they're gonna be even more eagle-eyed. Plus, the magical leg healing isn't the only thing that's not sitting right with fans. Conor is also more ripped than ever. If you've seen any of the Irishman's recent shirtless pics, you know what I'm talking about. McGregor's body transformation is insane. He's been flexing those muscles way too much lately, and athletes think it's all fake and drug-enhanced. Now, I'd say they're probably jealous, but the body transformation is actually crazy, especially for someone who is recovering from a gruesome leg injury. The Irishman is making his return at welterweight, despite being a featherweight and lightweight for more than half of his career. Mystic Mac is set to lock horns with Michael Chandler in the final quarter of 2023. And with all the PEDs he's been on, I see an easy win for him. I mean, have you seen his body? Exactly. Half the fighting world is openly accusing him of taking steroids. Yeah, I'm talking about Jorge Masvidal, Dustin Poirier, Beneil Dariush. They all think he's on something. And he's definitely ringing a bell with USADA. They aren't planning on making any exceptions for the former UFC champion. Being one of the world's richest athletes comes with a lot of perks. Saudi Arabia let Cristiano Ronaldo bend their laws without consequences. But when it comes to USADA, the anti-doping agency isn't budging. Conor needs to be in the drug testing pool for at least 6 months before stepping into the octagon again. And the athlete isn't too happy with it. He thought the agency was going to have him clear 2 tests and call it a day. Conor went to town on USADA instead of cooperating with them, which, if you ask me, was definitely not a smart move. I mean, the organization is already not making exemptions for you, so calling them trash is definitely not going to help. All McGregor did by attacking the agency on social media was put his drug situation in the spotlight. And you know what that means? More people accuse the star of being on steroids. And this time, many more high-profile celebs jumped on the bandwagon of calling out the athlete. I'm talking about the man himself, Joe Rogan. Fans don't take Rogan's words with a grain of salt. Yeah, he's brutally honest at times, but that makes him one of the best UFC commentators out there. If there's someone who knows what's hot in the fight world, it's Rogan. The UFC commentator also thinks the Notorious is all juiced up. Joe invited a popular PED expert and bodybuilder on his podcast to go over the whole Conor situation. They talked about Conor's now-deleted tweets about wanting policies on PEDs changed. Only a person who takes PEDs would want them to be legal, right? Come on, that's obvious. Rogan said McGregor looked like his urine would burn a hole right through USADA's testing cup. The bodybuilder guest on the podcast saw eye to eye with Rogan. He said the fighter is almost certainly taking something to get massive while not being tested. Conor slammed Rogan for his comments. You probably saw that coming, right? The Irishman loves calling out people when they accuse him of something. I mean, at this point, I'd get used to all the PED accusations. It's not like it's the first time he's been accused of taking drugs. And let's say these are only accusations. Conor is the one who proves they're not. Chael Sonnen tried defending the Irishman. You know some PEDs are legal. That's something a lot of people don't know. Sonnen said people were quick to accuse the athlete of taking steroids, when his training break could easily be the reason behind it. He also went on about how Conor might have only been taking drugs prescribed by the doctor for healing his injury, and he worked out and ate healthy to make the most of them. But it definitely doesn't look like he got all that muscle mass by using legal PEDs. Plus, all that running away from USADA seems super suspicious. Also, there are other ways to prove the athlete's on something. One side effect of taking PEDs is anger issues. And let me tell you, Conor's been pissed off on the internet ever since his injury healed. He can't be waking up on the wrong side of the bed every morning, right? Something's definitely up. I mean, have you heard his now-deleted voice note to True Geordie? Conor loves stirring up controversy. He's known for his straightforward and often brash persona, but this was definitely next level. The Irishman unleashed a verbal assault on YouTuber Brian True Geordie Davis on Twitter, and his choice of words was concerning. McGregor attacked the YouTuber in a deranged 40-second voice note, fat-shaming him and whatnot. The viral voice note made rounds on the internet, and fans pointed out that Conor's behavior has been worrying lately. His interviews have been nothing but weird, and his social media attacks have been getting more frequent. It has to be the PEDs that are making him lose his mind. There's no other explanation, right? Not only this, but he's also been hanging out with people outside of his demographic. I don't know about you, but I wasn't expecting to see him partying with Kylie Minogue. There's definitely something off with the Irishman's behavior. Both stars attended the F1 Grand Prix on the French Riviera and partied over the weekend. Now, this is definitely not Conor's usual friend group. I mean, maybe he's just expanding his circle a bit. But the recent changes in his behaviors are all leaning towards his use of PEDs and steroids. So, from the athlete surprisingly hanging out with pop stars like Kylie Minogue, to magically healing an almost career-ending leg injury after UFC 264. This was how Conor McGregor just proved he's on PEDs.